Donald Trump has finally decided to start using Truth Social after, it launched and then he didn't say anything for months. But he is back on it with a vengeance, folks. And I talked about earlier today, he used it to give CNN a new business model, but he also used it over the weekend to finally come out and actually defend, to a degree, Madison Cawthorn, who, of course, is facing a pretty tough primary today, folks. Today could be the beginning of the end of Madison Cawthorn's political career. So Donald Trump comes out and he makes this plea to voters on Truth Social. Here it is. I had to print it out because I do not have Truth Social. So here's what Trump said. At 18 years of age, Madison Cawthorn, the now 26-year-old congressman from the great state of North Carolina, went through a life-changing event, the likes of which, fortunately, few people will ever have to endure. In just seconds, he lost the use of the lower half of his body, a traumatic experience to say the least. When Madison was first elected to Congress, he did a great job. Recently, he made some foolish mistakes, which I don't believe he'll make again. Let's give Madison a second chance, Donald Trump says. Come on, guys. We know he's got that weird video of him, flopping around naked on that man's face. But, come on. He was not going to do that again. Hopefully, right? See, here's the thing. I don't care about the photos of Madison, at the party and he's got lingerie on. Who cares, right? Young guy, they do stupid stuff. I don't care about the video of him doing that thing to his friend or his cousin or whoever the hell it is. Reports kind of vary on that. Doesn't matter. I don't care. That doesn't change my opinion of this man. What I do care about, obviously, is the fact that this guy is embroiled in actual real scandals. Scandals that actually carry penalties in jail. Okay, but I noticed Donald Trump's not bringing any of that up. The Republicans that are openly bragging about the leak campaign against Cawthorn, they're not bringing those things up. But this kid could go down for insider trading with the Let's Go Brandon cryptocurrency. Tom Tillis, of course, has called for an investigation into that. Good for you, Tom Tillis, Republican senator from North Carolina. But that's a big deal. There's also, of course, the story that just came out about a week and a half ago about Cawthorn trying to skirt campaign finance rules by paying his chief of staff less, but they screwed up and ended up paying him too much, which meant that they couldn't pay him through the campaign, the $70,000 that they did pay him. Just all sorts of horrible things that this kid has done that do not in any way involve compromising videos or, risque photos. I don't care about that crap. Republicans apparently do. And today, we'll figure out if Donald Trump's little, plea here to people, like, hey, come on, give him another shot, right? Oh, he went through this horrific thing. Okay, yeah, that is tragic and it is sad, and we do not wish that upon anybody. However, you don't get a free pass to be an asshole just because you suffered an accident. Sorry, that's not how it works. I was in a pretty horrific car accident, didn't get paralyzed, thank God, but I live with chronic pain every day. Every step that I take, I experience pain due to the injury I sustained there. I went through months and months and months of physical therapy, reached the peak of it. I will never get better than I was. When I was in that car, that was the best I was ever going to feel again for the rest of my life. I live with pain every second of every day, and it sucks. But guess what? I don't use that as an excuse to go out and be a jackass to everyone I meet. No. You see, just because something bad happens to you doesn't mean you get to be a jerk to everyone. It doesn't mean you get to skirt these campaign finance laws. It doesn't mean you get to, possibly do insider trading. I'll forgive the partying because I don't care, because I've partied too. Trust me. Luckily, when I was in college, when I was in high school, we didn't have social media and things like that. Otherwise, yeah, there'd probably be some pretty stupid videos of me out there on the internet. Same thing with most people watching this. It is a part of growing up. But I think Trump's call for a second chance for Cawthorn is a little bit deeper. I don't think it's because he thinks Madison Cawthorn deserves a second chance. I think it's because Donald Trump is trying to send a message to the establishment. Because it is the establishment, of course, that is trying to take Madison Cawthorn down. They've admitted it. Like I've said, I've done a video on it. They've admitted it. But here's the thing. If the establishment is successful in taking out Madison Cawthorn, with this drip, drip, drip campaign, there's nothing stopping them from trying it on somebody else, from moving on to a different target if they're successful with Madison Cawthorn. That's what scares Trump. That's why he's begging and pleading these people, give him a second chance. Show the establishment that their tactics don't work, because if their tactics do work, there's nothing stopping them from coming after a Lauren Boebert, who, oh my God, if we think the drip campaign against Cawthorn was bad, imagine what they could do to her. Marjorie Taylor Greene, same kind of thing, although it's a little too late for that in the primaries. But 2 years from now, who knows? Same thing with a lot of these other little MAGA conservatives out there. You know, we've talked about their scandals. We've talked about all the horrible things they've said and done. But a coordinated effort from the Republican establishment could actually mean something, because they'd be speaking directly to their base at that point. That's why Trump is scared, and that is why he so desperately wants Cawthorn to win today. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low, low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.